What it do, YouTube? It's SS, and I'm back with another video on this one right here. This one right here. Well, let me tell you, this one right here, I ended up making a shadow, a muck, a lone muck, as you guys can see right here. This shadow. Um, I went for the muck hole, two grimer, a grimer, and the a lone muck, both alone. And I actually did pretty good with it. I went 9 and 6 with it. These are 3 sets that I did do on stream in the 2900s. So playing some very good experienced players. So yeah, if you like the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. I did do these on my Twitch. Link in the description if you do want to go to my Twitch. Um, these battles were done on the 30th, so the day before Halloween. But yeah, I guess we could just well, you guys been liking a lot of the videos, so once again, I do want to say thank you for that. I do appreciate you guys. But yeah, I guess we can get into these battles now. Um, I'm gonna come into my Alolan Grimer, and this is the rank 1 Alolan Grimer as well. And we're gonna be able to get hit with a couple of moves, but we're throwing on good timing to throw our Sludge Bomb here. I don't think that they're gonna shield, but they do end up shielding, which is gonna be a little bit tricky for us. So now we're gonna get hit with another Aerial Ace. At this point, I need to get to another Sludge Bomb, and we do make it to a Sludge Bomb before they end up farming us down. Because of that, now my clock is up, so I'm able to switch out, but that makes us do a little fast move before we're actually able to throw the Shadow Ball. Now it is on CMP, and we're going to be able to throw the Shadow Ball, and that's going to be enough to KO this Toxicroak. Even though Surf would have been enough, I still go for the Shadow Ball. Um, Now we're gonna hop into the next battle. We're gonna see a very good lead for us, but they're gonna farm up. They're staying in, so this is making me think that there might be weak to the Jellicent in the back. Now they are gonna let the Shadow Ball go through. I'm gonna let this go through as well, hoping that if it's a Scold, I don't get the debuff. And apparently, I think I don't get the debuff there. I am overfarming here. I throw in bad timing. I didn't realize that until now, but either way, they're gonna get to another move. They're gonna shield, so I'm gonna let this go through. This time the skull did a little bit more. And if I would have just KO'd I think I should have just threw right away. They're gonna throw another scold. And then now at this point, I am gonna throw the surf, trying to get it out the way. We do get it out the way. I'm gonna switch and save this energy. Go to my lowland muck. In the back, they have a fortress, and this fortress is gonna get hit with a dark pulse here. And now I do believe that they're gonna let it go through. They're farming up a lot of energy here. So now I'm gonna go ahead and let this go through, hoping it's not um earthquake. It's not the earthquake, it's the sand tomb. I do make it to acid spray. They end up swapping out. And at this point, this is looking really bad for us. I don't think we can win this. So now I am gonna come into my Jellicent. They go for the CMP, counting very good counting on my opponent's side. And now I have to spin my shield. Gotta get the shadow ball off. I should have probably just came into the grimer, got the crunch off, then swapped out and got the shadow ball off. But either way, yeah, that's gonna be enough to KO. They're gonna be able to farm us down, and yeah, that's a good game. So now we're gonna hop into the next battle. We're gonna see Wormadam into our Jellicent, which is really good for us. They swap out into a Clefairy, and this Clefairy is now going to get met with our Alolan Muck. I am going to let this go through. It's just a Meteor Mash. Kind of assumed that they would bait just because I am a Shadow. And now they are going to go for another Meteor Mash, which kind of makes sense. Now I'm going to try to go for the farm down. We do get the farm down. Now they're going to come back into their Wormadam, I do believe. And as they do come into the Wormadam, so now I'm going to throw the Dark Post here. Do they want to shield? They don't want to shield. I'm going to try to get to another Dark Post. We do get to another Dark Post. At this point, they have to shield this. And they don't shield it, and that's going to be enough to KO. At this point, in the back is a Wigglytuff, and we just send out our Alolan Grimer, and it's going to be a good game from there because they end up top lefting. Now we're going to hop into the next battle. We're going to see Charjabug into our Jellicent. I instantly swap into our Alolan Muck, and now they are going to be throwing energy here, so I'm going to go ahead and shield. It is the X Scissor. They're staying in. I'm going to go straight for the Dark Post. I don't expect them to shield, just because a lot of people go for the Acid Spray. Now, I am going to go ahead and let this go through, I think. Yeah, I do remember letting it go through. They're going to come into a Runerigus, and this Runerigus is going to be able to get hit with this Dark Post unless they end up shielding, which they do end up shielding. So now I am thinking about what I should do. I should probably come into my Grimer and not come into my Grimer. This point, I'm expecting them to go for the debuffs. They are going for debuffs, and I expect this to be another debuff. But if it's a Shadow Ball, it is gonna hurt a lot. But it's just another debuff. We are able to make it to the crunch. This point, this is either gonna get the next shield or they're gonna let it go through. They do end up giving up a shield. I make a mistake here, end up shielding the Sand Tomb, and now because I shielded the Sand Tomb, I don't have a shield for this Jellicent, and this Jellicent is actually going to be able to win this game, which is really bad for us. So now they are over farming. They do make it to the Shadow Ball here, and at this point, I do think that they're going to outpace us, and yeah, they're going to outpace us. The surface enough to KO here, and that's going to be a good game, and we're going to unfortunately end up losing that game. Now we're gonna hop into the next battle. We're gonna see Jellicent into Cofagrigus. This is not really good for us, but we got two answers in the back. So I'm gonna try to catch a Shadow Ball if I can. And then the first one I am gonna end up shielding because I am also going to throw the Shadow Ball. I'm gonna try to get the shield, but they end up catching here on their Toxapex, which is okay. So now at this point, I'm like, okay, I'd rather have Toxapex here on my Jellicent, which is probably better for me. And so I'm going to go ahead and stay. They do end up throwing, well, they end up throwing up a shield, which is good for me. They go for the Sludge Wave. I'm gonna go for one hex and throw the Shadow Ball here. Do they want to shield this time? They don't want to shield, which is fine with me. I'm just trying to get to another move, but I unfortunately don't make it to another move. So at this point, I am going to go ahead and let this go through. Now I'm gonna come into my Alolan Muck and farm down completely, get this farm. At this point, they want to come back into their Cofagrigus, and they do, and then they end up swapping out into a Azumarill, which this Azumarill is not going to like none of these acid sprays, and they do end up shielding the first acid spray. So now this next acid spray is going to do a lot more damage. I believe I'm just gonna go ahead and let this go through. We do end up living, and we're gonna be able to make it out with a crunch when we farm down the Azumarill, and now we're gonna be able to throw this Dark Pulse on the Cofagrigus. Like I said, the sets it went 3-2. They all went 3-2, so nothing but positive, and we make it up to 29-18 or something like that. We're gonna see a bad lead, but we do have two answers, so I am gonna switch on to my Alolan Muck. Then they're gonna bring out a Wormadam, and this Wormadam, the confusions are actually neutral because the poison typing on this Alolan Muck, we are dark. If we were just dark, we would resist the moves, but we don't because we're not fully dark type. They do end up shielding the Dark Pulse here, so I'm gonna go for the Acid Spray, hoping that they shield this, but yeah, no, they're too smart and they don't end up shielding. So the thing I should have did here was if I was going to shield, I should have just went for the farm down, kept the energy, but I end up making a mistake there. Then they're gonna come into a Greninja, so I'm just gonna go for the Acid Spray here, and I'm gonna cause as much damage as I can. They make it down to halfway, so at this point, I'm gonna come into my Jellicent. I'm expecting them to throw a Night Slash. They do go for the Night Slash. They get the boost. I'm gonna do one hex. I'm gonna catch the next Night Slash. Now at this point, I need them to stay in, and I need to farm down completely. They end up swapping out. I'm gonna go ahead and throw this move just in case, because I don't want them to reach another. I don't want them to reach a move. And one more poison jab is enough to KO that Greninja, and we're gonna be able to take that game. Now we're gonna hop into the next battle. We're gonna see Toxapex into our Jellicent. Jellicent, this is really good for our Jellicent. Now at this point, I'm expecting them to go for a crunch or something, some dark move, and we end up catching the dark move on our Alolan Muck. Now I am over farming here. I'm gonna go ahead and shield this. This is most likely the Dragon Claw. They are not gonna throw a dark move, so now I am gonna go for the Acid Spray here and see, do they want to shield? They don't want to shield. Maybe I could have farmed down, but either way, I'm just gonna go for the throw. And they end up shielding, and they end up throwing as well. Since they ended up throwing, I'm gonna go ahead and shield because my poison jab is going to register before their Dragon Tail. 3 turn versus 2 turn. Now they're gonna come in to their Greninja, and at this point, I see that they have 3 water shurikens. I'm gonna do one more and try to catch, and we do end up catching the Night Slash. Now at this point, they are now at the Hydro Cannon here. I do believe we barely lived the Hydro Cannon, so if I can get this farm down, this is gonna be really good for us. We do get the farm down, and they realize that this game is pretty much over, so they end up top lefting, and we're gonna be able to take that game. Now we're gonna see Nidoqueen into our Jellicent. This is really good for us. They're gonna swap out into a Golbat. I'm gonna try to get to the Shadow Ball before they get to a move, which we do end up making it to the Shadow Ball. At this point, I am gonna go into my Grimer again, and now I'm gonna go ahead and take this move. It is the Poison Fang. Now I'm gonna go straight for the farm down, but not before they get to another move. I'm thinking this is a Shadow Ball, so I am gonna go ahead and shield. It is the Shadow Ball, and I think a Shadow Ball would have KO'd from that range. So now I'm gonna go for the Dark Pulse here, expecting them not to shield because they think I'm gonna go for the Acid Spray. At this point, I'm hoping this is just the Poison Fang, so I can get the Dark Pulse off. I am at it, and it is enough. It is just the Poison Fang, which we live on 1 HP, able to knock it out, and now they're going to come into a Golisopod. This is not looking really good because we don't really have an answer to this Golisopod. So we're going to go ahead and farm up. They do deny us there. The game is not working properly. We do get hit with a liquidation. This is not looking good. So I need the defense wall here. I know they're going to shield. They do end up shielding because they got 2 shields. At this point, we do sneak in the move. Now I am going to go ahead and no shield. Oh, okay. Kind of risky. I'm gonna go ahead and no shield again. And now at this point, they are gonna go for the liquidation. They do get the debuff. I'm gonna go for the surf here, and they let it go, and recognizing that the game was probably over for them. So GG's. Now we're gonna see Dragalge into a Jellicent, and this is not really good. I do believe they end up trying to catch too. They do catch. And they catch on a Toxapex. So once again, I guess I'm just gonna go ahead and stay in for a bit. Throw the Shadow Ball. Do they want to shield? And no, they don't want to shield. So okay, whatever. So I'm gonna go ahead and let this go through. I don't want to spend my shield yet, to be honest. Now I am gonna over farm here and go straight for the Surf, hoping this is enough to KO. But Toxapex is super bulky and live 1 HP. So now I'm hoping I can get to the Shadow Ball on this Dragalge. As it does come back, we do barely make it to the Shadow Ball, and this is either going to get the shield or it's going to do massive damage, and we do get the shield. So now I'm going to come into my Alolan Muck. I'm going to go ahead and let this go through, hoping it's not the outrage, it's just an Aqua Tail. And now at this point, I realize they're just going to go straight Aqua Tail, so I need to get this thing out the way. So I'm going to try to over farm. I'm going to go ahead and let this go through. We're gonna barely live, and now we're at the dark post. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw the dark post. Do they want to shield? They do want to shield. Now I'm gonna switch on. This is looking really tricky for us. I need to shield this, and I need to get um this Pokemon out the way. We do make it to the crunch. This is going to be enough to KO, and that's gonna take it out. Now they come into an Azumarill, and we just don't have enough health to destroy this Azumarill. So unfortunate for us, we are going to go ahead and take a loss. We're gonna take an L, and yep, that's gonna be enough to KO. So now we're gonna hop into the next battle. We're gonna see Azumarill into Jellicent. This is more favorable for the Jellicent as they do swap into a Sableye. Is it Sableye? It is a Sableye. So now I'm gonna switch out into my Alolan Muck. No, not Grimer. Hoping this is gonna be enough to well, I knew I was gonna get to the crunches a lot faster than the dark post, so I wanted to outpace. And now at this point, I should have definitely shielded this because they did bait me, and the returns are actually gonna get is actually going to hurt. So now at this point, I need to come into my Jellicent. No, I don't need to come into my Jellicent, but I come into my Jellicent, and then I just make a mistake. They come into a Palisade. Um, I need to shield this. Hope that I don't get a debuff, and I actually end up getting a debuff. So now I'm gonna over farm a little bit, throw the dark pulse here. It's not enough to KO, but one more poison jab is gonna do enough to KO. And at this point, I just don't have enough health, and I don't have enough shields to be able to take out the Azumarill and the Sableye. So we're gonna unfortunately end up losing this game as well, as they do make it to another move, and now this move is going to go ahead and KO us. And now we're gonna hop into the next. Oh no, that is the last battle for this set, the second set. I do believe we have one more set as we make it to 29-34. Now we're gonna hop into the next battle. We're gonna see Jellicent into Azumarill. And like I said, this favors more the Jellicent, to be honest. Um, Although there are Azumaros that can win, and I'm gonna bank the move, farm up, switch out, and they're gonna come into, was that a card bank? I think it was a card bank. Yeah, it's a card bank. I'm gonna go ahead and shield this. It's just a rock slide, I know, but I need to win the alignment so I can put my Lowland Grimer on the Azumarill. And I'm gonna go for the Dark Pulse here because I assume there's gonna be more damage, but to be honest, I probably just ended up wasting more energy where I could have just went acid spray, acid spray, acid spray. But now at this point, I expect them to think I'm gonna go for acid spray, so I don't go for the acid spray. I'm gonna try to make it to another move, but we don't make it to another move, which is not good for us. But they do show us the Wormadam, and our Jellicent is going to be able to wall some of these moves, as the Bug Buzz is going to do a little bit more damage than the resisted Iron Head, and we do make it to another move. We're going to throw the Shadow Ball, and the Shadow Ball should be enough to KO. I switch out into my Grimer, and I can live whatever one move that they throw, even if it's a Hydro Pump. In this case, it's an Ice Beam, and I can live another one, but I do believe that they have a shield, so I am gonna go ahead and bait. We do get the shield. Now at this point, I don't think this ice beam is gonna be enough to KO unless it's a play rough. So I'm just gonna go straight for the crunch here. And now at this point, this is not going to be enough, but one more hex is gonna do it, and we're gonna be able to take that game. So now we're gonna hop into the next battle. We're gonna see Jellicent into Scizor, and this is not good for us, to be honest, because those Night Slashes do super effective, and we don't want to take one, to be honest. But I am gonna take the first one, and now I'm gonna farm up extra energy as they do end up catching on their card bank. So now at this point, I think I'm gonna over farm just a bit, and I start realizing I'm getting super low, so I'm gonna switch out, and now I'm gonna go ahead and shield this once again. I do believe that they are pretty low now, so I'm just gonna go straight for the Dark Post, hoping this is enough to KO, so I don't have to use my next shield. But it is not enough to KO, and they make it to another move. So I'm just gonna go ahead and let this go through because I don't want to shield, and we do end up living. So now I'm hoping I can make it to the Dark Post to throw on the Scizor, and we do make it to the Dark Post. So now this Dark Post is going to get the shield, and we do get the shield, and this is looking really bad for us. So I am gonna go ahead and throw right away, and they are gonna shield again. I should have just threw the surf. Now at this point, I need to let this go through. They Night Slash me. They catch, and this is not looking good for us. But it is a Toxapex, so I do regardless end up throwing the crunch here. So we're gonna be able to get to another crunch. But this is not looking good because these Pokemon are way too bulky. And yeah, we're just gonna get to another move here, but we're going to get farmed down as this Toxapex is going to end up living. Switch out, try to get to a move, and now I do believe this person is counting, and they end up making it or winning CMP, and this is going to be enough to KO. And 1, 2 bullet punches is going to be enough to KO our Grimer, and we're going to actually lose that game. So now we're going to see Jellicent into our Jellicent into Duskull. Dusclops, right? And they end up catching. Nice. So I'm gonna try to catch as well, but I am unsuccessful of the catch. So I'm gonna go ahead and let this go through. It's just a crunch. And now I'm gonna go ahead and let this go through again. I know it's just a crunch. I don't expect them to shield, so but I'm just gonna go straight for the acid spray. So I can get a little bit more juicy farm, and we do get a little bit more farm. They're gonna throw right away, so I'm just gonna go ahead and let this go through. I come back into my Jellicent. They get to a move. I'm going to go ahead and shield this. No, I don't shield it. They switch out. I'm going to throw the Shadow Ball. It's a Charger Bug. Now at this point, they do let it go, so I'm going to go ahead and shield. Going to go ahead and farm down completely. Oh no, before I farm down completely, I am going to throw a Crunch, try to get a shield. We do get a shield. Now we're going to shield back as well. And now we're going to go straight for the farm down, hoping we can get it. And we do get it just in time. Now they're gonna come into the Dusclops and try to make sure I throw in on good timing, and we do throw on good time. So now we're gonna be able to get this crunch. I'm gonna try to make it to another crunch. We do make it to another crunch, and at this point, I do believe this is going to be enough to KO, as they do force quit the app, and now we are gonna be able to take that game. We're gonna hop into the next battle, and we're gonna see Jellicent into Azumarill once again. I do believe that it favors more the Jellicent than the Azumarill, but we will see how this battle goes. They are going to make it to a move. I'm going to go ahead and let this go through. Now I'm going to switch out into my Muck, see what they have in the back. And in the back, there is a Scizor. I go for the nuke, but at this point, I should have realized that they are going to go ahead and shield, and they do end up shielding. So now I am going to go ahead and let this go through. It's just the next scissor, but it's gonna be enough to KO. I was hoping it was gonna be a night slash, but it was not a night slash. So now at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and shield this night slash, and I'm gonna do one more hex and throw. And now I am at the shadow ball. So this is either gonna get the next shield or they're gonna let it go through, and they do let it go through. In the back, they have a Wormadam as they see me swap into my Alolan Grimer. Now we're gonna go straight for the crunches. They don't shield the first one, which is fine. I'm gonna go ahead and let this go through. This might have been a huge mistake because I start realizing that did a lot of damage, and now I'm gonna go for the crunch here. They do end up letting it go through, which is fine. Now I'm gonna try to farm down completely, but we don't get the farm down. But one more hex is gonna do it, and now we're gonna start trying to throw out these shadow balls, and I'm hoping I can live a shadow ball or a flare up here. I'm gonna go ahead and shield the first one. I need to make it to 2 moves. Are we gonna make it to 2 moves? I don't think we make it to 2 moves, right? I'm pretty sure we don't make it to another move. They do make it to a play rough here. It's gonna be super close. We live with 1 HP, and that's not going to let us make it to the Shadow Ball, and we're gonna unfortunately end up losing that game. So a lot of games that we did have that were super close, probably could have won them, but then again, this is the first time I have ran this team. Uh, Brand new Pokemon for me as the Alolan Muck. Never used one before. But yeah, if you guys liked the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Once again, link in the description to my Twitch. Also the Discord if you do want to join the Discord. But yeah, I will see you guys on the next video.